All right, so it's just real quick. Let's just pick this up. We're independent. We're not on a tripod here. We're unplugging the wireless mic. Right now, this is the on-board, on-camera, omnidirectional mic that we're hearing. That I'm only about less than a foot, about 8 inches from the microphone. We're now plugging in this Sennheiser, the Sennheiser first generation. The batteries we have in here are not the Duracell or the Pro Cell. I always recommend the Pro Cell. This is, in fact, just a run-of-the-mill, just a generic, what do you call it, the Panasonic batteries. We're looking at it flashing. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue the test. Put the headphones down. We're now independent from the camera. So I'm facing, of course, the camera. The receiver, the antenna, is actually facing this way too, which helps. The next test is I'm going to go around the back of the camera where it's sitting on a table and see what we can pick up where antennas are facing this way, and we're going to go the other side. So, okay, turning away from the antenna, heading up of the property. We're up here, turning over, of course, towards the camera. You could probably still see me with the wide angle. Coming over this way here, this way here. Now we're going to be out of view of not only the visual but also the audio, going around to the corner of the house. Okay, we'll put the camera there. Wireless receiver is right next to it. The antenna is facing the direction I'm going to actually be walking here. So looking away from the camera. We're going to bring it back over here and test some other mics at the same time. Okay, so set back up here on the table, back in this area, facing away from the camera, away from the receiver. Yes. Facing the receiver, talking over the microphone. Now talking down here, of course, into the microphone. Looking away, but talking over the microphone. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here's the omnidirectional mic. We're just listening right here. Just the microphone that comes with this Canon. It's an EOS 5D Mark IV. The Mark IV, which is the newest of the Canon line. We're going to plug this in now. Now we're using the wireless microphone. We're going to take the headphones off, of course, so we're independent of the camera. Here, why don't you come over this way here. Come away from the equipment there. Good. So we're going to walk this way. Our back is turned to not just the optical or the capture device, the video device, but also the audio antennas. This is advertised as, again, another one of those true diversity microphones, even though it just has one antenna on the receiver. So I'm walking over here this way. My back, of course, is turned to the camera. And I am talking into the microphone, 1, 2, 3, and then talking more naturally over the top of the microphone. And then we're going to kind of go over this side here where we're going to be out of focal view of the camera, the video view, as well as the sound. The audio has to bend around this corner, so it's not a direct line of sight or view of audio. So here I'm about 5 yards, just here around the corner of the north part of the property. And I'm coming back over here. And again, one more time, this is the Boya. I'm going to actually have to go over here and look at the microphone to find out what do you call it, the model number is here. So here's the Boya, is the model number. It's not clear on here. It says Boya BY-WM6 receiver. So now I'm going to go over to this side of the property and let's see if I could put this on and the headphones aren't attached. No, in fact they are attached. Maybe I could set that over here on this rock structure. So I set that now over here. I'm going to walk around the southeast corner of the property. All right, so we're completely detached here from the tripod. Took the headphones off. We're still getting a good headphone read. I'm facing away. Now I'm talking over the microphone. And now I'm talking down into the microphone. We have our ambient sounds here, of course. I'm going to just kind of go over this way here, so I'll be out of line of sight, and the audio doesn't have to bend here around the building. So I'm walking now this way here, talking over the microphone, as I would naturally, and now I'm actually talking down into the microphone. Southeast corner, I've reached the very edge. There's actually a big gate or a fence. I'm not in the line of sight yet. In about 3 seconds I will. Should be able to be seen here. You can see turning around again, now talking over the microphone, and now I'm talking down into the microphone unnaturally. This is kind of probably more natural. So the tests for the range and dropouts and all that, we also want to see, of course, the highs, the mids, the lows, the bass, to see how that's picking up on the microphone. We're also hearing some ambient just chatter, noise, crying. That's going on almost 3 feet behind the camera. So talking down into the microphone, we're going to see if that's being blocked at all. Also, for testing purposes, we should note that on the actual receiver, the battery is just about down to, well, it's the lower part, so it's like the lower quarter that makes any difference. All right, well, here I'm on channel 1. This is the WM Pro. This is the Asden old device here. Battery should be at least about half on some powerful Pro Cell batteries, which are a step better beyond the Duracell copper top. So I'll pin this on same place as the other mics. I already noticed in a test I did off camera here was that when I was speaking, I couldn't hear this until I actually plugged it on me. So it's harder to hear. I'm gonna actually walk this way here with my back turned toward the receiver, and here again on F1. Now I'm turned, of course, back to the camera, talking naturally over the microphone. Now I'm looking down towards the microphone. I'm guessing it probably sounds pretty good, but I'll bet you as soon as I walk away from that sight line where the audio has to bend around the corner to get to the receiver from the transponder. But before I do that, let's just go walk over this way. I'm probably out of frame. It is a really wide angle lens, so I don't know where you're going to lose me, but I'm here just walking over to the corner, the southeast corner of the property. Walking up this way here. Now I'm turning around back looking at the receiver. I'm guessing it's still going to be heard. You'll still be able to hear me. Walking back down these stairs here, and now I'm probably within the line of sight. Now we're actually going to go out of the line of sight and out of where the audio is going to have to bend around this corner to be able to be heard. So I'm actually walking forward, of course, so my back is actually turned towards the camera. And so I'm walking this way over to about the 35-yard marker of the property. Now there is a gate. The gate actually is open, so it technically can allow sound to go through it. I'm leaving the gate open. I'm facing now towards the camera. Now I'm facing away from the camera, walking out towards the corner of the... Okay, so we're going to just continue to do just one more test here with this the microphone. This is the WM Pro wireless transmitter from Asden. It's complemented by the wireless receiver, and which is interesting. We'll call this just regular diversity. There is a true diversity receiver that I have here that I believe would go with the same model transponder. So this is just the one antenna. We'll call it just regular diversity. It's not true diversity. We're going to turn our back to the camera. We actually already went up that way. There are some stairs. We're going to head down this way and bend the audio around the corner. And I'm going to be talking over the mic as I would naturally, kind of walking away right now, about 15 yards from the old line of sight, heading towards an open gate, and that's probably about 20 yards. And now there's a little wind out here, and this actually has a wind screen. I'm actually outside the property where I think we're probably going to be getting some pretty bad breakouts, pretty bad dropouts. I'm not even across the street here. I'm over on the easternmost part of the property, turned around, facing the camera, at probably about 30 yards. I'm thinking 30 yards. It's 25 back to the gate. Heading back now. We're on a F1, F2. I don't know what the difference in frequencies are on this particular model, but and I imagine the range is probably real low because it's called the VHF, very high frequency. UHF is the ultra high frequency. Okay, so this is the second set, same model. I described that as a Rolls-Royce. This is a tank. This is a Cadillac here, built in the late 90s. Just solid. It's heavy, but who cares? You know, you have this in a pocket of your talent. The frequency in the world of VHF, UHF, this frequency is 762. I'm reading it upside down, which is like ultra high frequency. That reason being is that these were ordered B&H in New York several years ago, and they saw the address as being LA, a Los Angeles address. They knew there's tons of interference in that area, so they wanted to give you an ultra high frequency, and that kind of just worked out. I think I'd always want to err on going as the high frequency as possible, not to be picking up of a McDonald's drive-thru or anything nearby. Gonna head over to this corner of the property. This would be probably the easternmost corner, probably out of sight now. It's a pretty wide angle lens, but it's probably a box there blocking me. I'm up to the very far corner. I'm turning around, facing the camera. I'm talking over, I'm actually talking into the microphone. Now I'm heading back down, talking again in the microphone as I look down as I'm going downstairs. Now I'm just kind of talking across the microphone. Gonna head back over this way here. Where the audio is going to have to bend around this corner or I'll be out of the sight line. So an obstruction being the property, the structure. So now walking here back, I'm about almost 20 yards. I'm about 25, and that's where the open gate is. The gate is probably open about 3.5 feet, you may want to know. And I'm still, my back is turned to where I originally was, where I disappeared. Now I'm to the the street, going to the other side of the street. I'm facing the opposite direction of the camera. Now turn around here on the opposite side of the street. So there's sidewalk. I'm turning around now facing the camera, talking over the microphone. There's a little wind rustling through the trees here behind me. There's no wind that I really feel going over the microphone. This particular microphone, there really wasn't any wind muffs or anything for it. I wonder if that could be ordered separately or if it's even necessary. Who knows? Maybe there's something built into this particular mic. I'm going to walk now back, crossing the street, heading back towards the sight line of the video camera. And okay, so we're on the other sidewalk, walking across the lawn. This is the easternmost part of the property. The fence is open again about 3.5 feet. Now we're heading probably about 5 seconds away from you'll be able to see me, and I'll have a direct line of sight with the camera. All right, so we're now heading back to the camera. It'd be interesting to do a test just behind the camera, and the reason I say that is because you don't have the antenna sticking out this way. It'll actually be behind it. All right, so I'm actually, now this is going to be interesting. The camera's facing that direction.
Oh wait, I'll do it for you, Abby.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Walking back, we're the opposite end now. The antenna is facing that way, away from me. I'm walking here this way. I'm going to go to the furthest corner that I can, just up over here. I'll just go about this far so I don't get winded. So standing over here, I'm going to actually proceed this way, where the sound is going to have to bend around the corner, and I will be out of the sight line of the wide-angle lens. Coming over here, again, this is the Sennheiser. This is the second Sennheiser, first test over on this side of the property. I'm about 10 yards from where you saw me last. So the sound is going to have to bend here around the structure, around the building, heading all the way over to the far corner. And this far corner, same distance as the other far corner, so it's about 35 yards. Now turning around, talking over the microphone. Now I'm talking into the microphone. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to walk back with my head up, just as I would talk naturally over the microphone. And the microphone, through all these tests, have always been clipped in the same spot on my sweatshirt. So about 2 seconds from being able to be seen on the video camera. I'm coming around the corner. And okay, so and then now this is almost unrealistic because the camera there is only about 15 yards from where I'm standing. So another test, now though the video camera is facing me, the antenna is facing that direction. So I'm going to just walk here around the camera, and I'm going to walk around the property too. I'll try to describe where it is within the property. All right, so I can't be seen. I'm on the opposite 180 degrees of the camera. Now I'm coming all the way over to the other side, and then I'm going to turn right and head out towards the street. So heading west. Down the side of the house. So right now, visually, there's no visual, and the sound has to, of course, bend around this building, this structure. Again, this is the second Sennheiser, same model. It was what, BY-WM6, and I'm already out here to, of course, the curb, walking across the street a little quicker than I did last time. These tests done, and rustling through the trees. I don't really even feel any wind on me that could be going over. A lot of wind going through the trees. I'm going to pause here for a moment to see if you could hear that, the wind going through the trees. I don't know if that's any benefit. I don't think we'd normally be going after wind. In fact, we're probably trying to avoid wind. I'm now going to continue to go back across the street, back toward the property. This fence has swung open. It's completely about 4.5 feet open. That the sound needs to travel through to be able to get to me. The sound waves, or what do you call it? So I'm now going back through the fence, probably about 20 yards from where I'll be seen. Actually, I won't be seen because the camera's turned the opposite direction. All right, so, and you know, also throughout these tests, I do want to test the, I'd like to test the range, not just for breakouts and frequency. I want to test the highs, the lows, the bass, and the mids. So, and you know, I think the next test, if I'm really going to test the ranges, because my voice is just within a small amount of range, I am going to actually go plug in, it's called a Sansa, which basically is just going to put music through. I'll just walk around and wave because I'm not going to be able to talk to you anymore. There is no shotgun here wired into this Beach Tech, so I can't split it up, you know, right channel, left channel, stereo. So let's do that. Let's see if we have the Sansa. If not, we'll just plug in the iPhone through a stereo mini cable.